Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Future State Dark Detective Batman, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. And yes, I've looked at a couple of Future State figures in the past on the channel, particularly the Ghostmaker and Gladiator Superman. But never have I looked at the more regular looking DC characters from this subline of DC Multiverse figures from the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. I don't know why. I've been sitting on this one and Jonathan Kent for a while, so I figured, what the heck, I'll look at him now. Just kill some time, you know? So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Dark Detective Batman has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with this grapple hook he holds in his hand. Interesting. But he can hold it. I think he has a place to hang it too. I can't remember, but either way, he does come with a collectible trading card. And that's your lot. Very basic, but these figures were only, I think, 20 bucks when this guy came out, so that's kind of understandable. He is a new buck, at least he was. He does, of course, come with a hockey puck display stand we're used to seeing with all McFarlane Toys releases. And eagle-eye viewers of the channel may recognize this figure as the Midnighter from Tag It. It was a gold label thingamajigger. So, yeah, kind of cool that they took a pretty solid body, I'm not going to lie, and retooled it to make him. I think he had different lower arms, a different head, and he had swappable hands. This guy does not have the option to pop the hands off. I just tried it. Give it a little bit of elbow grease, but not too much. Don't want to break it. But yeah, you can't swap his hands. He just has the one trigger hand and the one fist hand. That's fine. That's good enough for me. That's how I display him anyways. But as far as his articulation goes, he's got a double ball peg in the head, but it's pretty locked down. He can look up though. He can look down. He can tilt side to side. Shoulders go out, but they are hindered by the pauldrons here, so you're not going to get much out of that, especially when the shoulder does not have that clicky joint. Now, this one goes out a little more, but it does have a tighter joint, so maybe that's why. But there you go. They'll go out about that far, probably on both sides. He will rotate. He does have a butterfly in there that actually does get some range back and forth, a little bit of up and down. He's got a bicep twist. That works fine. Double elbow. Kind of chunky on him, but it's fine. It gets the job done. He does have the ball hinge wrist that will rotate, hinge, and rotate. We'll say this one appears to be a little stuck on mine, so I'm not going to monkey with that. Torso can move that far forward. Wow. He can crunch pretty far forward. I don't remember that. He can go back that far. He can tilt a little bit. You do get some rotation out of that. And the waist, of course. Hips will kick out, but I'd be cautious of these pouches and things. They can kick out about that far. Can't really do the splits, but he doesn't need to, right? He can kick forward pretty well, all things considered. He can kick forward on both sides pretty well. But one thing, he does have the standard kind of McFarlane thigh cut joint up in there, but he does have one down here for some reason. Even though it seems like every figure they give this to, the thigh cut up in the hip itself is enough. Like, it moves in, it moves out a little bit, but this here is obviously easier to get to. So it makes me wonder if we'll ever get a bike for this guy. That'd be kind of cool. I'd display him on that. He does have a double knee. Pretty good range out of that. No gaps either, so that's nice. Then he does have ball hinge ankles that will rotate, hinge, pivot, as well as the toe joint, which is not very tight on that side. What about on this side? It's not very tight on either side, but he doesn't have a problem standing, really. So that is Dark Detective Batman in a nutshell. He is pretty cool. I do like him. I do believe I got him and John Kent on clearance, either at Walmart or on Amazon or something. I do need to pick up the Batman, the regular Batman, which is, I think, Lucius Fox's kid. But that is another story for another day. So, with that being said, why don't we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our Dark Detective Batman, alongside a couple other figures from this Future State subline, starting off with Jonathan Kent Superman, who we will be taking a look at later today, so stay tuned for that, as well as good old Ghost Maker. This is one of my favorite DC Multiverse figures from whatever year he came out. He is a criminally underrated release, if you ask me. Really cool character design, really fun figure, highly recommended. But I think they scale well with Dark Detective Bats here, so getting them out of the way. So we can make room for our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibular. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I gotta say, good old Dark Detective Batman here is pretty sweet. Despite the fact that we already took a look at this body buck with the Midnighter figure earlier this year, my buzz has not been successfully killed by that. Not to mention, that figure wasn't even mine. That was for my good buddy Evil Villain. So, you know, not having this body buck around for several months kind of renewed my interest in it, and I gotta say, I like the figure. It's got its issues, its shortcomings, its whatnots, and who's its, but at the end of the day, I really like it. I think it's a pretty awesome Batman variant, though with that thigh cut, like actual thigh cut going on, I'm surprised we didn't get a bike for him, or some kind of vehicle, right? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.